what very well could be the best budget John Wick PCC on the market, the St. Victor, brand new from Springfield Armory. This is what we're going to be looking at today. I'm going to tell you all the features, specs of this rifle, what it comes with, tell you why I call it maybe the best budget John Wick PCC out there, maybe do a little bit comparison, weight, and take you to the range with us, and then pros and cons after that. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, I gotta say, first of all, big thanks to Springfield Armory for sending this out so I can show it off to y'all. Let's go ahead and start in the front. All right, you have the Springfield Armory blast deflector up here. It's recessed under the full-length handguard. It's got a nice look to it. Almost looks like a suppressor, but it's not a suppressor. It's a blast deflector. And then the handguard, of course, M-LOK pretty much all the way around. It is free-floated, by the way. 16-inch barrel, melanite coated, 1 in 10 twist. One nice feature they did is they put the interrupted rail. So you can see the rail stops right here, and then right here is clean. So if you do a thumb over bore type of grip, then you're not grabbing on a Picatinny rail. It just makes it a lot cleaner, a lot smaller feeling up here. It's got a great feel, man. And how far we've come from the days of quad rails like this stupid thing. Whoosh, right here. Good God. Look at that thing. Would you look at that? This thing is terrible, but I keep it around for reference and, you know, an occasional good laugh. This is so much better, dude. So much better. You can see the little rail up here. It does come with flip-up sights straight from Springfield, so that is really nice. Spring-loaded, of course. Put that back down. By the way, the other rifle that I've seen that done on is the Ruger SFAR. It's got such a clean look to it. Very awesome feature, I think. Coming back to the action, so you have a forged 7075 T6 aluminum upper and lower receiver. This is made for 9mm. There's no adapters or anything like that. It is made for the 9mm round. Of course, you have Colt pattern magazines. We're going to talk about this a little bit later. Just stay tuned. But that's what it comes with, one of those. Nickel boron coated flat face trigger. It has the Bravo B5 grip, Bravo B5 adjustable stock, and the B5 trigger guard, polymer trigger guard right there. Here's your safety selector, which is ambidextrous. I put the Radiant Raptor charging handle in here, by the way, because it's so much better than the just standard one that it comes with. Magazine release, bolt release is on the other side where any AR pattern rifle is. Shell deflector, you have your dust cover. Looks like this thing is laser etched Springfield Armory Saint into the lower right there on the magwell. St. Victor there, Springfield Armory cannonball on the actual bolt. Direct blowback design, and I'm rocking this Ronin P12 still on it. This thing honestly has been bulletproof up to this point. You're about to see some of the results that I got with this rifle and that optic. Breakdown, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, by the way. Standard, boom, push the pin through, bolt carrier comes out, charging handle, all that kind of stuff. Your bolts are staked, you know, it's like a high-end PCC should be, right? You have QD mounts in the back of the receiver back here. You also have one in the stock up here. Now let's see how much the old girl weighs. Springfield Armory is saying 6 pounds, 15 ounces. So I'm gonna weigh it with the optic and an empty mag. And that's gonna take us 7 pounds, pretty much 14 ounces at that point. So the optic, I don't know if they weighed it with or without a mag. Not really sure. Let's see how much that mag actually. So the mag is, an empty mag is about 8 ounces or so. So yeah, maybe with the optic then, they probably weighed it with an empty mag, but that's what it weighs. Now in comparison, this is not a comparison, but just to show you, if you have something like an MPX Copperhead, for instance, 4 pounds, 15 ounces. Now this is obviously a pistol. The St. Victor is a rifle, And it's probably similar, and actually I know it's similar to the Chris Vector in weight that I have, which is a pistol as well. Right there. 7 pounds, 9 ounces. So, and this is a pistol too, which is in 45. So when you look at it like that, it's got some weight to it for sure. We could even weigh it against the SFAR. Now, this is really just missing a sling and ammo in the mag. This is 9 pounds. So, in that perspective, 308 rifle with a 1-6 by 24, it's got some weight. It's got some weight for sure. And that's going to be important later on in the video, as you'll see. But one thing the weight does do for you, coupled with the 9mm round, coupled with that trigger, makes an awesome shooting gun. Let's talk about what PCCs are good for, because you have obviously a rifle that's 7 pounds 14, almost 8 pounds with a red dot. So if you are into competition, this is great. If you want a soft shooting rifle you can train somebody on that's maybe timid or new to this, fantastic. Home defense. There's better options, but not bad. In the realm of PCCs, ranging all the way from $300 high points to really expensive TTI TR9s, well, this falls right there in the middle. And most of the ones that I've seen, your Chris Vectors, your MPX Copperhead, it's the Vector and the Copperhead, they're kind of expensive too. They are expensive too. But like your Strybogs, your Scorpions, even the like Ruger PC9 carbine, which is actually cheaper than this, never mind. But you know, it falls in that $1,000 range roughly. I think MSRP is $1,300. That's just suggested price. Normally they're lower than that. So it kind of falls in the line of that mid-grade PCC. But with all the features that it offers, it gives you one heck of a shooter, dude. This thing really, I think, is well thought out. Now, there are some cons to this thing too that we'll talk about here in a minute. But overall, I think it's really, really well thought out. The question you have to ask yourself, what are my intentions with the rifle? Do I want to shoot competition? Okay. Do I want to shoot over 100 yards? You know, now I'm not saying that you can't ring steel well past 100 yards with a 9mm. You can. Is it effective at that range? No. Probably not. So if you're looking at something like this and you're like, dude, I want to shoot 300, 400, 500 rounds, this is not going to work for you. If you shoot within 75 to max 100 yards, I'd say max, and you want something like all the criteria I just said, this might be a good option. Competition, home defense, teaching people how to shoot, great platform, great little plinker too. Awesome plinker. So it has a lot going for it in that realm. You just have to answer the question, what do I need it for? this versus an actual pistol, you know. Obviously, you're going to get more velocity out of this as well. So, you know, you can take that into account. Is this the best budget John Wick PCC though? Let's look at the pros and then the cons and we'll figure that out. All of these high-end features is good to see. Free floated handguard, interrupted rail, love that feature right there. Forged 7075 T6 aluminum upper and lower. It's going to add a little bit of weight, but it is stable and something that you can trust as well. Love the upgraded grip, upgraded stock, really nice. Backup sights, not the best, but they don't have to be. They're backup sights that came with the gun. That's a good feature. Everything seems to be quality. Melanite coated barrel. They do magnetic particle testing on some of the components, so really good there. And then of course your nickel boron trigger. Now, I didn't show you the trigger, but I will right now. You hit the wall and it happens quick. Turn it on fire, Heg. It happens quick. That's pretty much the wall right there. A little bit more and it breaks. Not super light. Reset. But it doesn't have to be because it's predictable. Really, I like the trigger. If you're shooting competition, you may want to upgrade that. But for my purposes and a defensive rifle, I think that thing is just fine. Very nice. Safety selector switch is ambidextrous. Great. All the controls are familiar. They're where they should be. A lot of great features on this rifle, dude. There are some cons, like I said. The proprietary magazine, it's just nice knowing if you have a Glock, you can use those mags. I had seen somebody say this, and they were like, well, Springfield Armory competes with Glock in the pistol market, so that's probably why they didn't use their mags. But so does Ruger. So does Ruger. They use Glock mags on like their PC9 carbine, but it has an adapter, so it uses like the SR9 mags or Glock mags. That's a nice feature. Now maybe Springfield Armory was like, hey, we want to make sure this thing runs uber reliable. We're going to design it to work with just this mag. I'm not sure. It's more of a convenience thing. These mags are more expensive. You know, you're not just going to find these in any local gun store, you know, whatever. It's just one of those things. And if I really want to nitpick this thing, with all the great features it has, why not upgrade the charging handle straight from the factory? This thing is designed as a race gun. It's designed to go, obviously, with all of the features that collectively make the St. Victor, and yet you get a standard charging handle. Again, am I nitpicking? Yes, but it would be nice to see on this gun. Another con is just simply the weight. The weight for what you get. I just showed you a 9-pound rifle in .308 that is way more capable out to distance. So if that's what you're doing, this is not for you. But again, it depends on what you're doing. So some will view the weight as a con. You know, I still have to load it and I still have to put a sling on it. You're probably going to be 9.5 pounds once it's all said and done. So for that weight in a 9mm, again, it just depends on what you're using it for. But I do want to mention that because it's important. Overall, if I were to grade this thing right now for what I would use it for, which is a training gun and a defensive tool, 8.5 out of 10. Maybe even a 9 out of 10 because it's really well thought out. And for that price, I think they put together one heck of an awesome PCC and probably the best budget John Wick PCC out there. That's it, man. I'd love to hear what your opinion is of the Springfield Armory St. Victor. Let me know down below. If you want to support what I do, you can do that on Patreon for $1 a month, dude. $1 a month from a lot of people helps a ton, man. You get special perks and all kinds of stuff, but if you want to help me directly, that's the best way to do it. And I'm about to thank some of you guys here right after the video ends. Big thanks. See you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.